I think I've come across the best Age 2 rush possible. Simple, effective, easy to follow, and guys, you know me, I've played a lot of aggressive civilizations, I've done a lot of Age 2 rushes, and I gotta say, this one ticks all boxes for me. Let's do it. Right, before we jump into this juicy strategy, I just want to say a big thanks to Age of Sunbros 3. They are a Discord server and community, and I stumbled across them on a few of their YouTube videos, and I've got to say, this is where I got this detailed strategy from, and it's absolutely great. There's a huge write-up on it. You got a deck picture, everything is included, and there's tons of other great strategies for civilizations on their Discord channel. So I'll leave a link down below, and without further ado, let's do this. Right, welcome to the battlefield, guys. If you didn't know, it is the Haudenosaunee. They used to be called the Iroquois. This is going to be one of the most favorite, effective, and easiest, in my opinion, rush that you can do. So if you love Age 2 aggression with economy as well, because that's one of the main issues with some of the rushing strategies that we have, is the fact that we have that lack of economy. And this is something that Haud are really good at, depending on how you play it. So we have a land map here, and my opponent is the Ottomans, ZS Preston on the right side of the map, and myself on the left. So first thing you kind of want to do, guys, is you will have a travois, and you want to get that travois sort of out into the map, and you want to be building a longhouse. And a longhouse is basically a glorified house that provides 15 population instead of 10. And you want to use that, and you want to build that at some point around the map. Now, you can see here that I go ahead and I am going to be putting this in the middle part of the map. Now, you can do that. Some people say it's not best to do that because it could get taken down. You could also put it on the sides of the map as well, so that there aren't any sort of issues with raiding. You have some vision if there's any sort of raids going on or anything like that. So wherever you want to put it, you can put it straight in your base if you want to. It's entirely up to you. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting a TP post up with your explorer. If there's a TP line, we're going to be taking the first TP post in Age 1, and we're going to be chopping wood. So make sure that you have all of your villagers on wood right at the start, so that it enables you to get that TP up as soon as possible. And what I suggest is that you keep one villager just to herd and maintain your hunts, all other villagers on wood until you get 200 wood, and then you can slap down that TP. First card we're going to be going for is 3 villagers. Now, I will be showing you the deck at the end of the video, but here it is here, the 1v1 rush deck. And there's a few things that you may want to change here. Potentially this card here, the Lynx Pelt Trade, that increases the tribal marketplace, which is your coin gather rate by 20%. You may want to change that. We're not going to be using that really in this rush at all. So the first card you're going to be going for is the 3 villagers. And all you need to do is, after you've done your TP, your longhouse, you are good to go. All you need to do is get your explorer going around the map. He is a very good explorer. And I must say, this guy provides attack bonus to your military units. And I believe it's 10%. Or something crazy like that. So you really do not want to lose this guy in combat, and do not lose him to guardians or anything of the sort. So you can see here, all I'm doing is just getting villagers. I've got a total of 13 vills right now. And I believe that you kind of want to age up 16 population. That's when you want to age up. So your food should slowly be macroing correctly into 800 food, so that you are ready for your age up. Now, when we have that food available, we're going to be aging up with the messenger. That is going to be a really fast age up. And what you want to do is you kind of want to move your villagers, kind of want to split them sort of evenly over food and wood. And the reason you want to do that is because the units that we're going to be creating are food and wood based. That's pretty much everything is food and wood based. Also, my opponent here says lol, and I don't really know what he's lolling at. I actually still to this day do not know what he's lolling at. I don't know. Anyway, we pretty much age up at the same time, and my first card is going to be the Aenas, which are the the bowman units or skirmisher units. And I am just going to quickly pause this here because there's a lot that's going on. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. So the minute we age up, we want to select a military unit card. Now, the most common one is going to be the 4 Kanya horsemen. These Kanya horsemen are so good for raiding and getting early scouting information. And if you can sort of multitask well, and you're relatively good at raiding and not losing your Kanya horsemen quickly, I always suggest to go this. Also, they, as I've said, provide good scouting. And scouting is so crucial so you know what first military building your opponent is going to be building. If he builds a stables, then, you know, probably want to go Tomahawks, which are your heavy infantry. They counter cav. If he's going for barracks, you may want to bulk up with more hyenas because he's probably going to be going for more maybe heavy infantry. Who knows? Or maybe you want to also build a stables as well, which is called a corral, I believe. Yeah, it's a corral. This is really awkward. It's a corral because he could be going for skirms to try and counter your Tomahawks. So there's all those things, and there's a lot of counters and all that sort of stuff. But most of the time, you're going to be going for Kanya Horsemen first. This time, I go for 7 hyenas because I know I'm going against Ottoman. And what does Ottoman mean? Most of the time, it means Janissaries, which are a heavy infantry unit type. So I go ahead for the 7 hyenas. And also I build a second longhouse because trust me guys, you're going to be getting unit shipments out like a mother trucker and you're going to be going through population very quickly. You want to make sure that you have your eye on your wood consumption and make sure that you're building longhouses along the way to maintain your population. So you can see my kind of split. The ideal split is kind of 9 and 6 or 9 and 7, 9 on food, 7 on wood, something like that. But just sort of balance it as you go along. You can see here that when we age up, we get a travois as well. So make sure that every age up with Haud, you get a nice travois that you can use. And we're going to be using that to build our war hut. And it does take a while to get across the map. That's the only downside with this build. It does take a little bit of time to get over. And you can see in here now, this is one of the best times to scout if you don't have your Kanya horseman. Best time to scout is around now. And you want to kind of move in and see what he's got. Oh, look, what do I see? What do I see right here? What have we got? We've got an artillery foundry and a barracks. What does that mean? Well, the artillery foundry is the Abbas guns. The barracks is going to be the Janissaries. So I'm looking at a full infantry style opening here. So I've got to bear that in mind when I'm playing against this composition. And he looks like he is going quite aggressive. He's put these at the forward position. He's already built both. So he is anticipating something. And looks like he's going to be pushing out around the same time I do as well. You can see my second card here, or sorry, third card of the game is the Kanya Horseman. So I am getting those out next. We've got the hyenas here. And this is kind of scary. You know, we're getting 5 minutes 30 here. And ZS Preston here is going to be pushing forward with some mighty units here. Look at this. He's got a lot of Janissaries and some Abbas behind it. So he's done a really good job with getting that timing attack down. And you can see here he is pushing into the base and I've managed to get some Tomahawks off. I'm just continually creating Tomahawks. 4 Kanya coming in. You can make sure that you put the military garrison from your war hut. Now, this micro is going to be a little bit tricky here. Unfortunately, I lost some of my Tomahawks as they popped out. Kanya are going to be going round behind to try and focus on the Abbas guns. They're going to be able to counter that, and he knows that as well. So he's trying to use some of the Jans to deal with it. The hyena and the war hut are both going to be shooting down. Remember, your war hut does 30 damage a shot. So make sure they're shooting at the right kind of unit. And you can see here the hyena's in a perfect position here. Look at this. Absolutely juicy. Just nice behind there in cover just in case. And we have managed to deal with his first attacks. This is a really good sign for us. Already we're off to a great start. A real big difference in score now. So we're looking really good already. And I'm going to be getting the next card, which is the 6 hyenas. So once again, as I mentioned about population, you're going to be using that. And the first thing I do is I use my Kanyas here to see what the hell's going on. And I've already stopped him getting one of his hunts, which is absolutely huge. And we're going to be able to nab a villager, I think. And we're going to just back off. And you can see here, I'm moving and applying more pressure. He has now switched to grenadiers, which is interesting. He gets a pop of 3 hussars from his home city. And I'm in a little bit of a tricky and a sticky situation here. So something that I always recommend, by the way, guys, is when you're in this kind of situation, don't overcommit. Okay? Do not overcommit. Please don't. Don't think you can take it. Just back off. It's not worth it. You have the upper hand right now. I've delayed him getting food. I've already killed one of his villagers. I've stopped his main rush. So we don't need to go in just yet. We can quickly remass and we can push in. It's not the end of the world. You can see here doing a great job there picking off. This is unfortunate, the hyenas. I don't know they're doing this, by the way. This is not me. And you can see here, my next card is actually 5 villagers. So this is quite good. If you've got quite a successful sort of encounter, you can get some eco off the back of it. And this is what I love. This is what I love about Haud, is the fact that you can do this. That you've got these great villager cards. You've got the 5 vil card. Really, really nice. So I would suggest getting maybe 2 or 3 military unit shipments, then maybe going in to the 5 villages. Of course, there is another way that you can do it. You can be a little bit more greedy. And when you age up into age 2, you can just go with 5 villages first. So you can just get that pure eco straight off the bat first. That's another way that you can do it. A lot of players do that. But you can see here that I went for full units first. And you can see now that my Explorer has grouped up. The units have this little sort of highlighted ring around them, which means that they are boosted. And it's really crucial that you have your Explorer. He's so crucial. He's got 750 HP now. And he has a great crack shot ability. It's called the Sharpshooter, I think. The Sharpshooter attack. And that actually does like an area damage effect. And that can be really good in combat as well. So just bear that in mind. Don't lose your Explorer if you can. Now let's have a look and see what's happening at base here. So you can see it's a little bit manic, but all you need to do, guys, I say all you need to do, it's not as easy as I say it. I mean, I struggled here. It's just really just try and maintain your herding. Try and keep it to the TC as close as possible. You can see that I'm doing it right there. And just maintain your macro split. Make sure you're looking pretty good. You can see I'm now building a longhouse because population is going to be a problem very shortly. So it's all those sort of things. Just keep your eye on that because your opponent may try and counter raid you. So really keep an eye on what's going on at home. And maybe think about building a stables at some point. That's the next step. Building a corral to start getting Kanya horsemen, because Kanya horsemen are food and wood as well. So it's all about that food and wood macro. And you can see here now I'm pushing into the base. I'm going to try and siege this down. Tomahawks have really good siege. But what you need to focus on here, especially with grenadiers, is you need to kill these grenadiers. You need to focus them because they do a lot of damage. You can see I'm still doing pretty good. I'm kind of really awkwardly moving around this gold mine. I absolutely hate this game sometimes with its unit pathing, and it's so annoying, especially around things like coin mines and TPs. But you can see now I'm taking down the artillery foundry. And something here, you can see I've spotted that he's building a market. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I am going to try and pick off a villager and just keep him. There you go. Look at that. Nice. That's another villager down. And now he's popped some janissaries out. And we've got such a mass here that whatever he pops out, it's just not going to be enough. We do now see a militiaman, which is the CM pop. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and move away from them a little bit. I didn't really want to sacrifice my hyenas, but they are getting stuck in. And we just need to be a little bit careful here because once again, these militiamen, they are really high damage, 26 damage that they do. But we are confident here. We've got a lot of units and we're just going to be throwing our tomahawks at these bad boys. And they are going to be going down. So you can see now my next card is 6 tomahawks. So further military units are coming out. And we're not going to overcommit, as I just mentioned. We don't need to. He's used so much. Let's just think about how much he's used. We've taken his artillery foundry down. We've denied his hunts here. We've also killed a few villagers and wiped out pretty much his entire mass of units. You know, so we are in such a good position and we don't want to lose all of these troops to TC fire. And we can see, as I mentioned, we are getting further Tomahawks, 6 coming out and further 3 on the war hut right now. Just have a look at how much these units cost and try and match your macro to that. 75 food, 20 wood. What does that mean? Well, it means that we're probably going to need at least like 60-70% on food and the rest on wood because we need to remember we need to build houses as well. So it's just all about practice. And you'll learn the macro a lot better the more times you do this. And trust me, guys, this rush is so much fun to do. It's so effective. The economy behind it is great. If you maintain villager production and you get a few villager shipments in as well, it's so good. And you can see here the mass of tomahawks is just not going to be enough for Preston here to be able to deal with. And I've got another card coming in as well because of the XP, because we have the TP as well. And we are going to be going for the conservative tactics. This is a really nice Age 2 card. Oh, no, I actually switched it. Went for 600 wood. But the conservative tactics is definitely a great card. 100%. You can see here this affects your tomahawks, hyenas, and mantlets, and it increases their damage and HP by 10%. So if you go for a tomahawk hyena combination, this is great because it's going to provide bonuses for both damage and HP. We are going to be moving in now. Just trying to deal with any vills, and we're going to deal with this military building before we deal with the TC. Don't always right-click the TC, guys. It's not worth it. Try and deal with houses, military buildings first before you just move in on the TC. And now I've got more hyenas coming up from behind. I've got the wood coming in now. This is completely optional. It all depends on your match now. I can only give you the first 4 or 5 shipments, really, to this build, and the other ones all depend on how the game goes. If we have a look at base, what am I doing? I've built a corral so I can start producing Kanya horsemen. The market is really crucial at some point as well, so you can start to get some eco upgrades. That's more for the later game if it's still going on for quite a while, like around 10 minutes. I'd say maybe think about getting a market down as well. And now you can see here that I'm basically just moving in on the TC now. See that? Beautiful. And he has got his wood shipment, and there it is, GG. There's nothing that he can do. If we have a look, let's look quickly at the map, the situation. You can see that he basically exited all of his villas here. And what I would have done with that corral that I've just built, I would start producing Kanya, and I would use them to scout around the map and see if I can find where his villas are. And you can see here that, you know, that's all he's got. I've simply just completely denied him of his hunts. These are the hunts that he had. I stopped him getting those, and that was really big, especially on this map. The only other hunt option he's got is all the way over here, and that's it. That's what you got to just bear in mind, guys, when you play this sort of aggressive opening, is really just understand that, you know, it's all about confining your opponent to their base, denying hunts, pulling hunts away from them as well with your villagers, just having a good center position on the map with a war hut, with a TP, and just maintaining constant pressure and knowing when to take a fight and when not to. You don't have to always fight. You can quickly remass, come back. It's just keeping your opponent on his toes all the time, because if you do that, what it stops your opponent from doing is making the decision to go age 3. We want him to stay age 2. That's where we're playing. We don't want him to go age 3. We want him to stay in age 2, commit resources to age 2, commit his gold to age 2, so that he has no choice to go age 3. He has to play in our age, and that's where Haud shine. Now, of course, they shine in age 3. There's FF and semi-FF strategies with this civilization. They are really strong civ, but we're looking at the rush here, and I've got to say, this kind of rush is one of the strongest in the games. Like, I've played so many different civs. I've played nearly all the civs. I've played all their rush strategies, you know, both the Ottoman with the Jan rush, Russia themselves as well, and China as well, and India. And I've got to say, Haud is a lot more straightforward. It's harder hitting, I think. You've got more eco, and it's just simpler and more effective to follow. So if you're having issues on the ladder, on the 1v1 ladder, give this a go. If you really enjoy high octane, huge aggression, give this a go. You know, try it with the AI, something like that, and then unleash it upon the ladder. So there you go, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please let me know down, of course, in the comments below what you think. Have you given this a try already? Is there something that I missed? Then, of course, let me know. One last thing I want to say is, of course, there is a slight variant to this when you have water, and that is kind of a fishing boat boom that you do at the start when you want to play age 2. And I've got a little bit of footage on that. You kind of want to build 5 fishing boats in age 1, and then you want to age up. You have a slightly delayed age up, but you have insane amount of economy because of those fishing boats getting you all that food, and it can mean that you can pay more attention to getting your wood income in. And that is definitely an option that you can do when there's water. So guys, hope you enjoy it. Let me know down in the comments below, as I mentioned. And if you did find this entertaining, educational, useful, all that good stuff, please feel free to drop a like, and I'll catch you in the next video or the next stream. Catch you later, guys.